Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are NC.
Welcome to Kansas City and Kauffman Stadium for Royals baseball. Tonight, it's the American League Central and the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. This is Rex Sudler. The Royals coming off a rough road trip where they went 0-7, but now they come back to the K where they had some pretty good home cooking last time they were here.
That's right. Home cooking never gets better than right here at home in the K. They're going to be tested. They got 10 games here. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And not just 10 here and all versus the Central. It's 16 of the next 20 are going to be here at the K. Fun times as this team can play. Look at the ERA, starters ERA. You know, the bats will heat up a little bit here, Fizz, but really it seems like this offense of the Royals is designed around the K in this big, spacious ballpark.
And Eric Hosmer was encouraging last time out. Hosmer with 3 hits in his last game against the Chicago White Sox. Perhaps he, along with the rest of the team, will find their swing. We'll talk that next. Is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Steve Physiak, Rex Sudler with you again. Eric Hosmer is one of the leaders of this offense, and early in the season hitting a lot of balls on the ground to the right side, but the last few games, Hud, he's going to the opposite field more.
Yeah, nice to see. He's starting to try less. Those swings he had to start the season were violent. I mean, he was swinging so hard, he was throwing his neck out of joint. But now he's starting to figure it out. He's saying, look, guys, I got to get back to my basics. And that's just set the table up. Look how he feathered that double down the right field line there. This was beautiful. Go ahead. ahead. When they're playing you on that shift, drop it down there. Look at that base hit to left field. That's the key to coming out of that little funk, and he's got the skills to do it. And won't be much longer, we'll be saying, pilot to bombardier.
When we come back, Joel and Monty will talk Ian Kennedy and his success on the mound. He has an ERA just over 2, but he's still looking for that first win. We'll be right back.
So good to be back home. Slugger on hand along with the fans, and he may see an excellent pitching performance from Ian Kennedy. Welcome back out to left field. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. Ian's only allowed more than 2 runs in a game once this year against Minnesota. Maybe just first game type of deal, huh?
Yeah, he worked through maybe some control issues, but I really like the way he's throwing the ball here as of late. His last 2 starts, he's been spectacular. Only 1 run in those 2 games combined, over 15 innings. I really like the way he's using his changeup. He can command the fastball to all parts of the strike zone, but he's got that curveball, got the changeup. Fastball's not dominant, but he gets dominant results because of his ability to spot it and climb the ladder.
That is our Kia in the driver's seat, and Ian has been in the driver's seat ever since facing Minnesota. Also pitched well here against Oakland. Maybe the biggest issue for Ian, get him some runs. 1 run of support in those last 2 games. 2 runs while he's been in all season long.
Yeah, and that's one thing, a lot of the pitchers have struggled with that issue. They can't control it. They just got to go out, do their thing, pitch their type of ball game. Ian Kennedy's a pro. I love to watch him work out there.
And perhaps a couple of guys in the lineup or more can get him that run support, because Mike Moustakas is homered against Kyle Gibson. Same for Salvador Perez, who was always a Twins killer. First pitch coming up, Biz and Hud back after this.
by Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with Missouri Lottery. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford. Going further so you can. Well, tonight is the first of 10 straight at home, 16 of the next 20 at Kauffman Stadium. Royals hope to make hay with the Twins next. On a cool, windy, gray evening. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium. We told you the first of a 10-game homestand. And here's a look at Minnesota's starting lineup as penciled in by Paul Molitor. Brian Dozier will lead things off, then Max Kepler and Miguel Sano. Joe Mauer will go fourth, and Robbie Grossman has been an on-base machine. Robbie is second in the American League with a .437 on-base percentage. Ian Kennedy will start for Kansas City. This will be his 5th start, and he has an excellent .208 earned run average, Hud.
Oh, he's been really good, Biz. Look at that. Opponents only hitting 169 off of him. Really, that four-seam fastball has been boring in on righties. He's been making it tough on them. Lefties ain't doing a whole lot either. They're only hitting 178 off of him. So steady as she goes. The only thing he could use, what every pitcher would like, is defense, but certainly some runs. But we're going to show you defense right here. Jorge Bonifacio, first career appearance here at the K, but man, I'll tell you what, he looks good. And if you wonder how his arm is, 17 outfield assists in the minors. He's a good player. Looks comfortable at the dish too.
There is Lorenzo Cain in center field, and Fielding Culbreth is the crew chief. C.B. Bucknor will be calling balls and strikes. Manny Gonzalez at first base, and Mark Carlson is the third base umpire. And there is, just off the plate, ball one. Kennedy 12 walks in 26 innings. He has struck out 22. Right to Escobar, who gobbles it up. 1 out. As we take a look at the Academy leaderboard, it shows the Royals pitching ranks at home at Kauffman Stadium. They are #1. Look at that, ERA under 2, and they've only allowed 2 home runs in 8 games in this ballpark.
Keeping it in the yard.
Yep.
Gotta love pitching to the middle of this field. 4-10 straight away here at the K.
Here is Max Kepler. He was the young man born in Berlin, Germany. Good power hitter, hit 17 home runs. He's hit 2 thus far this year.
Okay, let's see what Ian Kennedy did in his last start against the Twins. Okay, we're going to dissect this a little bit deeper. A lot of fastballs. Look at that. Saying here, serve it up. Occasional sliders, change in curve, but he's going to go right after him. There's a nice little breaker there.
But he didn't have as good command. He had 5 walks, and that's not like Kennedy.
Nope, you're right. It was not a typical performance. But look, he kept his team in the game. That's all any manager wants to do.
Gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. The Royals would lose that game 9-1, and they were swept in that series, being outscored 21-5.
Let's keep him in the game.
Good fastball at 93 miles an hour with some late light, and Kepler is strikeout victim number 1.
Yeah, little late life, little hair on the end of that pitch, whatever you want to call it. That's what he gets in that 4-seamer. It takes off. And good spot too. See, he's got the 4 seams there. Look at that ball, how it runs, and looks like a 2-seam fastball for a lot of pitchers, but we just showed you the grip. It's not a 2-seamer. 2-seamers typically have a little more run to it. But you got to show them that breaking ball. If you show them that heater once during your at-bat or twice, at least it puts it in the back of their mind.
And Hut, Ned Yost told us before the game, Ian Kennedy has a 92-93 mile an hour fastball, but it appears to be 96 to the hitters. Why is that?
Well, it's because it's just got some late life to it. It's got an explosion at the end of it, and they're behind it. If it's a straight fastball, they'll tag it all day long. But he's got to keep it just above the belt and just around the knees, but he likes to go right above the belt with it.
Particularly to this guy, Miguel Sano, a tremendous power hitter at 6'5", about 250 pounds, and man, he can launch it. He has 5 home runs this year.
Very comfortable. And he's got opposite field power. For the K even. Right hand, you don't see many right-handers go opposite field.
And for a guy 23 years of age, good plate discipline. He leads the American League in walks this year with 18 already.
Yeah, he's mature, but hang with him.
Wow, how about that changeup? 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Ian Kennedy. When we come back, you'll see the Royals led by Whit Merrifield, Mike Moustakas, and Lorenzo Cain. Merrifield will lead things off. He was on base 3 times on Wednesday, Hud, but did not score a run. And then you're going with Moustakas back in that 2 spot. Lorenzo Cain 3rd and Eric Hosmer 4th.
Why not? Don't count out number 9 hitter Jorge Bonifacio either. Boss, he could go off. Everybody's waiting for a little launching pad, and you know, if you're a hitter and you see that 9 ERA and that 347 batting average against, oh, you can't wait to get in the batter's box.
And when you think of Kyle Gibson, how do you think of a guy with a dominant sinker, and yet he has allowed 5 home runs already this year?
It's because he's not understanding who he is yet. He should. He's been in the league long enough.
Hit sharply. Joe Mauer will take care of it. And there's one down.
Hard luck right there. Good swing. Defensively, the Twins, now they're plus 13 defensive run saves, second best in Major League Baseball. And I'll tell you, that's impressive enough. But last year they were minus 49. They were 28th in Major League Baseball. The 28th worst team. I mean, I'm telling you, they've made some big strides in defense.
And we saw Buxton make 2 remarkable catches in Game 1 this year. Here is Moose. He had an 0 for 5 on Wednesday, and that broke an 11-game hit streak. Drops that breaking ball in there to even the count.
He's got a nice little slider. We'll give you his repertoire. Again, when he faced the Royals on April 6th, and he had a pretty good game. Look at more 2 seams and sliders. Matter of fact, sliders more. 2 hard hit balls.
One by Merrifield, one by Moustakas. Nothing to show for it, but they are squaring it up. And as we take a look at our getting to know AARP, I'm Kyle Gibson. He is a Mizzou alum.
Yeah, and you know, he wants the Royals to hit the ball on the ground. That's his whole idea, but I wouldn't say that was the last 2 hitters. It was soft contact. That was pretty firm.
Won 10 games for Mizzou back in 2009, and they have a great line of excellent pitchers that have made it to the big leagues. I like Aaron Crow, who was drafted by the Royals, and perhaps their very best, Max Scherzer, Cy Young winner with the Washington Nationals now.
Both of those first 2 hitters exit velocity over 100 miles an hour on their hits, or on the contact. You know, Fizz, sometimes, you know, my 2 boys are playing young baseball, you know, little travel
David
ball.
and Will.
That's right. They're playing travel ball, and I'll ask her when I'm on the road, well, did they get any hits? She goes, oh yeah, they got all kinds of hits. She doesn't mean no. Did they hit the ball and it got by people? So that's a hit, not just making contact.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've been on the road with you talking to Jennifer, and she's trying to give you play-by-play. You're going, I thought you said they got hits and they're 0 for 3. Yeah, but they hit the ball hard.
Yeah, look, and you know what? It's a frustrating game even at that level.
Stays 2-2.
Well, that's what you do. You know, if you do have an offer, after you wash the suds all down the drain, you come back and you say, hey, look, I hit the ball hard yesterday and last night. I'm going to get back today, and they're going to fall in.
Good breaking ball thrown by Kyle Gibson. He strikes out CAIN. Both pitchers have a 1-2-3 first inning. We'll see Mauer when we come back. Jays. Walk-off grand slam. Can you believe that? To get back to 500.
Wow, what a swing. But did you see the Blue Jay pitcher who threw it? After he threw it, he just ran to the dugout. He saw it coming. A little slider that didn't quite slide where he wanted it. Good swing.
How about the Blue Jays? A very good team, and they're now 6-16. The Royals are a very good team, and they're 7-14. Here is Joe Mauer. Joe is still looking for his first home run, and he has belted 130 in his career. He's a veteran, now 33 years of age, out of St. Paul, just across the Mississippi River in Minneapolis. Is he too patient?
Well, you know, he is very patient, Fizz, but you know, the thing about Mauer this late in his career is that it's not hitting for power. I mean, he's not really hitting for a guy who's a cleanup hitter. You'd like to see him pull some balls out of here, but he normally every team plays him to left field. If you look at Lorenzo Cain and Alex Gordon, they have him played exactly the way he hits, and they rob a lot of his hits that way. You'd love for him to be able to turn and burn on the ball and hit. The last 3 years, you can see there's not a whole lot of pop there and not a lot of run production.
Now, last year with the 11 home runs, but only 49 driven in.
Now the infield, they play them straight up, but they're all over that in the outfield right there.
Alex Gordon will pull it down for out number 1 of the second. Our Toyota League leaders show that Robbie Grossman is second to Mitch Haniger in on-base percentage this year. This guy has walked 15 times and of course hitting .286 as a hitter. Their analytics guys love him.
Yep, they like that on-base percentage.
And he said that he worked incredibly hard in the offseason to be an outfielder, and then when he got to spring training they said, you're going to be our DH.
Yeah, but
how do you prepare for that?
Well, that's good because there'll be a chance for him to play in the outfield later. You want to take care of that. His defense was not the best last year.
Kennedy zips that fastball by him, 0-2.
But he's a guy who plays hard. I like how he runs. He runs hard. You know, both sides of the plate. He's going to battle you.
Didn't miss by much. See Kennedy holding with that changeup grip, then he'll change if he wants to in the glove.
And that's always good too, Fizz, you know, because now the hitter, see, he holds that in there, and the hitter watches the ball. When he gets his toe hold of the batter in that box, and then he looks at that pitcher, he's watching what he does with that ball, and sometimes it'll trick him with the grip he puts on it. And then when he goes in with the changeup, you'll watch sometimes you'll even watch the forearm muscles of the pitcher. So you know, if you see the forearm muscles moving, that means he's changing his grip. So every little detail a hitter will tell. See how that ball runs up and away. That's a really tough pitch for a lefty when it's up. He lost his lumber.
I wonder if he might throw that changeup with a 2-2 count. And it's hit sharply, but right to Whit Merrifield. 2 out.
Good to see Kennedy getting some early countouts tonight. Sometimes, you know, that pitcher that we see that four-seamer, how it rises up like that. Hitters get a little piece of it and foul it off. So therefore, he's getting a lot of guys to foul pitches off.
Yeah, I thought he was terrific in his last start, even though he received a no decision in a 2-1 loss to the Texas Rangers. He gave up 1 run in 7 innings. And that one run was just a quality at bat by Mike Napoli, an opposite field home run. Here's the one main addition that Minnesota made. They signed Jason Castro to a 3-year deal to be their new catcher, taking over for Kurt Suzuki. 3-0.
Yeah, you know, he's a good receiver. He continues to get better. And his hitting, he was hot to start the season. Now he's kind of cooled off some. He's got a couple homers, 2 doubles, 9 ribbies.
Yeah, you saw where 6 of his 10 walks this year came in the first 3 games of that series against Kansas City.
He was locked in. I mean, he was in mid-season form to start the season. Kennedy walked him twice. They're going to walk him again here, make him swing the bat. There you go. Guys are having a hard time holding on. It's a little bit chilly here. Four-seamer, when it's on the outer half of the plate, you have a hard time pulling it.
So he's come back from 3-0 to run the count full.
Oh, well.
And then strikes him out with a 94-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball.
Love how he got back in that count. No free passes tonight. Go right after him. Challenge him.
Bottom second, 0-0. Join us tomorrow as the Royals take on the Twins and grab the first bobblehead in our Memorable Moments bobblehead series. The first 20,000 fans will receive an exclusive Kelvin Herrera bobblehead presented by Sonic, commemorating his 3 scoreless innings in Game 5 of the 2015 World Series. Visit Royals.com and area price chopper location or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Well, here is Eric Hosmer. And he takes a rip at a high fastball. Steve Reich won. Oz 3 for 4 on Wednesday to raise that average over 200, getting it up to 220. His home run came in Houston. Oh, 0-2.
Haas 8 for 33 in his career off Gibson. Last 4 games, heating up.
Yeah, he's raised his average 35 points from 185 to 220.
Okay, now let's see if 0-2, you know, we know the Royals have been swinging at a lot of pitches out of the zone. See if he shortens up his swing. Still had a pretty good swing on that, just off his foot.
Gibson has really struggled this year with 2 strikes. Opponents hitting .361.
Well, that's a good number because the Royals have been struggling in that category with 2 strikes, especially with 2 outs. It's that fastball up.
That was the pitch he swung and missed at first. And this time Hosmer holds, and the third base umpire Mark Harrelson said he did not go.
Yeah, now that's really the problem that Gibson's been having. He's a sinker ball pitcher. When you're calling balls up in the zone like that, you're looking for that fastball up there. I mean, it's not, he's going to make a mistake and it's going to come down a few more inches, and that's what's been getting hit hard.
Two and two.
So the best way to face Gibson is to see him up, be patient, be selective, and look for a pitch out over. He'll give you one. So far, we've had some good at-bats off of him. Dale Swaim's talking about competing in the at-bat. There you go. Before we were swinging at that. They'll keep throwing it down there until you lay off it. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to challenge Haas with a sinker? I mean, that's his pitch.
Sinker.
Okay, let's see. Could sink one over the wall. See that? He was on top of it. In order to get some lift, you got to catch that bottom. You got to get up underneath it because he's a sinker baller. And he wants you to hit the top half of the ball. That's a ground ball in the infield somewhere. Thinks he got him in swing mode now to try an off-speed pitch.
Good battle by Eric when he was down 0-2, fought back to run it full, and then he's fouled off the last 2, and they have been good pitches, breaking balls down below the zone.
Yeah, 9th pitch coming.
Well, that had super sink, but Eric really eyeballed it well, and he works a walk on a 9-pitch duel. Tomorrow night, Fox Sports Kansas City will bring you both the Royals versus the Twins and Sporting KC versus Salt Lake. Now, Royals Twins will be here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Coverage starts at 5:30. Sporting KC will be on Fox Sports Kansas City Plus at 7 o'clock. For channel listings, go to foxsportskansascity.com. Both games will also be streaming on Fox Sports Go. Ball 1 to Salvador Perez.
How about streaming a screamer in the gap? Huh? Big yard. 2 infielders on the left side playing Salvi to pull.
And Perez is due after a very cold road trip where he had just 1 hit.
Okay, now they have a game plan tonight. You can tell by the way they're taking their at bats. They're waiting for their pitch, and they're not just going up there and flailing and bailing. And that's what you do. Dale Swaim, hey, it's not his fault that the offense has been struggling so far, but he's talking to him about having a plan.
Gibson is a guy that will induce a lot of double plays because of that sinking fastball. Last year he induced 21. He has only induced 2 this year, despite allowing a lot of base runners. And that tells you the sinker is not biting.
.20 slider.
Belted to left. And the Royals take the early 2-0 lead on Salvador Perez's 2-run home run.
That's streaming a screamer. Huh? Yeah. 2-1. 2-0. Salvi thought he was going to get the fastball. He got a slider. So they tried to come in with a little two-seam sinker. And it, like you said, it didn't sink at all. It just stayed right up in the zone, and that was swung on, gone that quick. Salvi's 6th on the season. How important was that walk? Beautiful. Haas got to see a lot of Gibson's pitches, and he won the at-bat with a walk. He got on there, and Salvi busted.
Perez was studying him in the on-deck circle. Now Alex waves at the off-speed pitch. He's down 0-2. Salvi's had a lot of success against the Minnesota Ball Club. 13 home runs against the Twins, but only the 2nd at Kauffman Stadium.
Well, just a little bit. He likes that launching pad up there at Target Field. That's what Alex wants to do. He wants to try to hit one to that left side. Can I just see that ball longer and lay it out there and start getting some lousy singles?
Yeah, he had that little check swing almost like it was a bunt, but with the third baseman pulled way over at the shortstop spot, he easily beat it to first base.
Yeah, you know, so there's just a whole lot of area over there, but now with 2 strikes, he's going to go ahead and just battle Gibson.
Gibson had 28 pitches to get just 3 outs. He's now allowed 6 home runs this year, way too many for a sinker ball pitcher. He led Hosmer back in the count when he had Eric down 0-2, and Eric worked the walk. He had Gordon down 0-2. Now Alex back in the count. Ian Kennedy waiting, and Salvi putting on, as they say, the tools of ignorance. There have been a lot of moms who have refused to allow their sons to be the catcher. He loves it.
Why not? You're involved in every single pitch.
And how about that at bat? We have seen 2 times Gibson in this inning have Royals down 0-2, and he let them back in the count, then walked him, and that has to concern Paul Molitor.
Sure does, but you know, it was just a matter of time before our guys started figuring out they're swinging at too many bad pitches. Okay, they're not this. They're a lot better than what's been they've been showing so far this year, and you know, it's just a matter of time before they get comfortable hunting their pitch.
The Royals had walked only 54 times this year, and the Minnesota Twins on the other side, Rex, they've walked 95 times coming into this game. That was the most in Major League Baseball.
Get some more action when you have base runners. Plus, you walk more, you get that on-base percentage up, and then you're able to get your pitch.
And Escobar thinking about bunting. We thought the Royals might bunt more in Minnesota because of their big third baseman, Miguel Sano. He's more known for his offense than his defense, and there's an Escobar fan. Cold gray evening here in Kansas City. The Royals have struck first on a 2-run home run by Salvador Perez.
But a really nice idea by Esky. Drop one down. If the ball is cold on cold nights like this and slick, and we haven't seen the young player Sano.
Escobar to center field. On comes Buxton to make the basket catch. Tries to double up Alex, but he dives back safely. Where that young man in center field can really run. We saw him make 2 sensational catches to rob Royals of hits in Game 1 this year.
Sure is a nice defender.
Yeah, you've got to believe eventually he'll win a Gold Glove.
Yeah. Now, did you just see him pull a piece of paper out of his back pocket? That wasn't litter here at the K, and he was putting it in his pocket if it's on the ground. That's the scouting report. So the minute he pulled that out, he went right to the pull side in center field.
For Brandon Moss. Moss did not play on Wednesday. He hit a home run in the 9th inning on Tuesday.
You'll have defensive meetings before each game, really, and they'll tell the defenders where they play each hitter. And usually you'll just look into the outfield instructor and he'll move you. But Buxton had a piece of paper to tell him, and hard to see that one. Now this time of night, that ball right there, make sure you run them all out, because defenders have a hard time seeing that ball in the air in the twilight.
Fans, do you want to host your company, family, sports team, or other groups out at the ballpark for a special occasion this summer? Group tickets, single game suites, and party areas are now available for regular season games throughout the summer. Call 816-504-4040 option 4 or email groupsales@royals.com for rates and availability. Number 9 hitter Jorge Bonifacio, he was out early today with Rusty Kuntz, learning that vast right field area here at the K. First pitch slider swung on and missed. Jorge had 2 hits on Wednesday, drove in his 2nd run of the year. Got the call up last week after performing very well in his first 13 games at AAA Omaha, driving in 12 runs in 13 games. And he whacks that one to left, but Rosario hasn't played well and makes the catch. The Royals score 2 on Salvador Perez's 6th home run of the year.
Oh man, that was really nice. Short, compact, 2-0.
Salvi goes deep. The Royals have the lead in the 3rd, and just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Time for defense. Kennedy 6 up, 6 down, and there is strike 1 to Jorge Polanco.
Hey, Polanco's numbers, 11 RBIs. He's doing a nice job. Switch hitter.
And there was a lot of talk, HUD, before the season that Brian Dozier would be traded, and a lot of fans thought that Dozier would be a Los Angeles Dodgers. The deal could not be worked out, but the coaching staff believe that Polanco is more suited for second base than he is shortstop. That's because he's ready now. He's at short.
That's right.
Dozier's still with the club. We do have a talented shortstop down in the minor league system, Nick Gordon. Fastball in. Former Royal Tom Gordon's son.
Yeah, you know, you hear those rumors all year, off season too, you know, and become immune to it after a while.
Foul off.
You know that it's a business and you have no control over that, so let them talk.
How many years, though, in pro ball were you before you got adjusted to it, accepted it?
It took me a while. When the first time I got traded 7 years after I was with the Yankees for that long, and they traded me to Earl Weaver in the off season.
There's a breaking ball away, and when you talk to a lot of athletes, they feel when they're first traded or released that they were rejected, but they don't see it as an opportunity that 29 other teams are looking at you. Smacked sharply, but foul.
Yeah, you know, it was weird. Clyde King was the general manager. Yeah, nice play, huh? Right in the bucket. Yeah?
How about
there
that?
You go. That was awesome.
Now you can throw an illegal buttered popcorn ball.
That was nice. Nice catch by the bucket. Anyway, I got the phone call and I was a little bit confused. Well, Rex, he's a Southern gentleman, Clyde King. Rex, well, Mr. Steinbrenner wanted to move you on, and Earl Weaver is your new manager and with the Orioles, and I said, well, thanks, Clyde. What do I do next? Well, they'll call you. They'll call you when they're ready, but just want to let you know we appreciate it. And that's it. It's in the off season. Then when I went to camp, first thing I looked for was the number, because I wore 56, and if you have a high number, that means your chances of making the team aren't very good.
So you were 100 and.
Yeah, no. So when I went to that the Orioles' new team, I was wearing number 1 in my locker. I was like, oh man, they think a lot of me, and it didn't work. I didn't make the team. but you know, there's nobody there.
Hosmer will take it himself.
None of the people you know are there. You have to start all over again. Your daddy's not there. So there's a sense of, oh man. But it's all good. These players, they get to learn a little bit more about themselves when they.
And I'm sure that just what you're talking about has been on some of the Royal minds, because a lot of guys will be free agents at the end of the year. Ian Kennedy knows he will be with this ball club for a while. He can pitch with that kind of piece.
Yeah, and there's some anxiety that comes along with that. This is especially being the first time.
Here is Eddie Rosario on a 9-game hit streak. Raised his batting average above 200 to its current 247 right now. Kennedy starts him off with a changeup for strike 1.
Got a nice little streak going here. Left-handed batter with some speed. Get down that line. He can bunt. He's a good bunter. And I'm surprised that Rosario and Buxton both don't bunt that much. And they're good bunters.
Buxton can flat fly.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do is just touch it, you know, kind of like Mondesi would do. Mondesi would bunt, you know, 2 out of the 3 times up. And he would get on.
There is Byron Buxton. Last time we saw him, he was hitting 3rd. Now he's hitting 9th.
Bunting for a base hit is almost a lost art, because they'd rather swing. They'd rather swing and hit a homer or hit a gapper. But you know, if you're an on-base guy and you want to try to get on base and you're a speed guy, that's a great way to do it. Practice it when you're young.
Kennedy has struck out 3. Bonifacio. 2 out. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. Here's that number 9 batter, Byron Buxton. just off the plate. Buxton has been swinging at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone, and he had a terrific spring training. But when he got here, they had him in the 3-spot HUD, and he was pulling everything. And obviously the pitchers recognized that, and they started working him soft away. And he has struck out 28 times already this year.
Yep, they'll find the holes, that's for sure. But that's what I'm a little bit surprised that he's not shortening up and he's bunting, and you know, putting the ball in play on the ground and utilizing that great speed until you get going. And then, you know, he's got some power. Sometimes you fight against that. You might hit one way out of the ballpark, and then all of a sudden it changes your swing and everything.
He still has not hit one out this year, but he had that remarkable end to 2016 and gave the Twins fans hope. On the ground, Escobar knows how quick he is, and what a pick by Hosmer.
Ooh, man, hands of silk. Haas with no trouble. Beautiful pick.
With leukemia at the age of 12, Brett and Christy Wilson created the Aaron Andra Wilson Foundation, which assists families caring for children with cancer and other blood-related illnesses. By providing financial grants, they help families cover temporary costs, including rent payments, repairs, and utility bills, as well as assisting with burial costs for those who pass. Since its inception in 2003, the foundation has provided approximately $400,000 to families in need. And I'll tell you, Brett and Christy, bless your heart.
Yeah,
awesome people.
Thank you for giving back. That's unbelievable.
Sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat tonight. Here's Whit Merrifield. Hit the ball sharply his first time up, but right to the first baseman, Joe Mauer. May have been a hittable pitch, but he took it for a strike. Now down to the count 1-2.
Yeah, he didn't want that then, but here's what the opponents have done through first, second, third time through. Okay, he only gave up one hit as a 2-run homer that first time. Now they're starting second time through. The numbers really are a lot larger.
And
nice
with
job.
2 strikes on him, he rips one through the hole to left. So Whit is on with nobody out. We've got time to check in with Joel.
All right, well, Rusty Kuntz will get a chance to walk over and talk with Whit Merrifield. That won't be the most interesting conversation he has had today. Of course, it is Rusty Kuntz bobblehead night. He was doing a Facebook Live today with Lee Judge of the Kansas City Star. And the Star, I guess, at Lee Judge's request, wanted to really test whether Rusty's hair is real, because we know he's got like the best hair since Robert Redford. Well, actress Morgan Fairchild, longtime soap opera star, is in town for a dinner theater performing in Overland Park. This is where it got weird, guys. They had her come out there and crash the interview. She walks up, and yeah, they pose with the bobblehead, runs her fingers through Rusty's hair, and then says, "Oh, player," which she clearly was put up to. Fizz, you've got good hair like Rusty, and you probably watched a lot of Morgan Fairchild. You could explain this better.
Well, I asked Rusty about it, Joel, and he said, you know, I was born 30 years too late. He is delightful. There's a base hit to right field. Merrifield hustles to second, and Moustakas has a base hit, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out here to start the third for KC. But he is a delightful guy. You know, so proud of his wife and kids and what they have accomplished. And Mr. Positive on that coaching staff.
Yep, it's fantastic. Now, Whitley had a little dilemma here. Now, wind's blowing out that way to right field just slightly. Moose jammed him, but now watch him. He's trying to figure out, okay, I don't know, because when Dozier put his glove up, see, Dozier tricked him. He put his glove up like he was going to field it, and that froze Whit. So there's little things you can do as a fielder that can freeze base runners. Sometimes it can get you that extra out on a force play like that.
Now Lorenzo Cain. Where'd that miss?
Slider Lorenzo, he's going to look to try to move the ball to the right side if he can, and that'll move the runners over, and it'll keep you from rolling over into a double play if you try to keep your hands inside the baseball.
Lorenzo trying to end an 0 for 14.
You know, Gibson so far he's struggled with runners in scoring position. The opponent's average. And 2 outs even worse. So
he does not have a confident look on his face. Huh?
No, and what's going on too is look at where it's a 2-0 count. He hadn't gotten ahead at all tonight.
He was ahead 1-2 with Merrifield and then base hit left field. No play on. He only lasted 2 2/3 innings of his last start and got blasted by Detroit 13-4, gave up 7 runs, but threw 71 pitches in not even 3 innings. He's at 45 already and hasn't gotten a man out in the 3rd.
Okay, Locaine has good numbers. He's the hottest Royal with a runner in scoring position. You can give him the green light here because he's got numbers to prove it, and the chances of him getting a fastball pretty good, or let him take it and then have him repeat the pitch.
I mean, you could have Hosmer up a left-hander with the bases loaded.
Right, but he can take one. Yeah, same situation.
And you would think he's got to stay with that sinker to try and get the double play.
It's on the outer half. All Locaine has to do is wait a click and go with the pitch. Don't try to pull it, and unless it's elevated. You can get it.
Ooh, that one was elevated, an off-speed pitch, and in Lorenzo's wheelhouse. He struck out Lorenzo on a breaking ball to end the 1st.
Pitch had a little bit of sinking action in, just got a piece of it. 50th pitch coming.
This looks like 2. 6-4 and a 3 double play.
That's exactly what Gibson wanted to do.
Here is Hosmer, who had a quality plate appearance his first time up. He was down in the count 0-2. Worked it to 3-2, fouled off a couple. I think he saw, what, 8 or 9 pitches?
He sure did. Laid off a borderline breaking ball down to a couple of pitches, curveballs or sliders that were down and inside.
Well, this guy, I said, induces a lot of double plays. Even though he missed about 6 weeks of last year, he has induced 50 double plays over the last 3 years. And that's in the top 10 in Major League Baseball. 21 last year. Merrifield at third. Castro, a good defender, blocks the ball well in the dirt. Hosmer to center field. Buxton can't reach it. And Merrifield will score. And Hos comes through with a clutch 2-out base hit for RBI number 6 this year.
Very nice. There's an RBI hit with the runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Yeah, they're starting to work on those categories now. There was, you know, that's an elevated fastball. 4-seamer. I don't know, you know, it's straight as a string. It's going to get hit. That's one of Gibson's problems. He's having a hard time getting hitters out with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
And even though Hos had 3 hits on Wednesday, that is Eric's first RBI in 10 games.
Yeah.
And that swings the momentum, because I think Gibson would have felt confident if he got out of that inning without allowing a run. Now swings back the Royals' way as Hos came through with 2 out.
And that's a big hit for confidence for Hos.
He's been on twice. Salvi went deep first time. Sent it into the Royals bullpen and left. There's another drive down that left field line. It is foul. Whew.
Man, oh man, he put a charge into that one. And you know, with the wind blowing from the left field foul pole to the right, you're thinking that might hold it in there, but no chance. Plenty of distance. He probably won't see that one again. He could leave a slider up.
Went with the off speed up.
Yeah, this is the home run in the second inning right here. That was not missed.
To left field, playable for Rosario, about 10 feet from the warning track. He'll make the catch, but Eric Hosmer comes through with 2 out, lines a single to center field, and Merrifield scores to make it 3-0 Kansas City. Time to take a look at Panera around the majors. Avisail Garcia right after Frazier went deep. So does Garcia. And the White Sox have tied the Tigers off 3 and Garcia off his old ball club. You know, we've been talking about this kid for years, Hud, and we don't realize that he's still just 25 years of age, and this is his coming of age season, the way he has played in April.
Yeah, and it's amazing, you know, when you drop 20 pounds, you get serious about your business and what you're doing, and he's lighter on his feet. He's even faster than he was before. He's a good athlete. And we saw him in Chicago tearing the cover off the ball.
And he was hustling down the line every single time.
Yeah.
Here is Dozier. As Kennedy has faced 9, retired all 9. Dozier tried to check his swing and it looked like he hurt his right wrist with that check.
Puts a lot of pressure on a hitter's hands when he starts and then stops.
Little breaking ball misses low, 1-1. Royals are 5-3 at home, and they've won 5 of their last 6 at Kauffman Stadium. And what they did so well was they allowed only 6 runs in those final 6 home games, and Kennedy has been a part of that. They're giving him some offense. On the ground, Escobar. 1 out.
We showed you Kyle Gibson's inning first, second, third time through, and it wasn't looking pretty his second and third time, but Kennedy's the opposite. He gets better at second and third time through.
Why? What has he been doing?
He's just staying convicted with his fastball. He continues to use it until they hit it hard or do some damage on it. He's going to stay with it. He's convicted with his pitch. He likes it. That little breaking ball didn't look too bad either.
Yeah, you talked about that last start. He had a no decision against Texas, went 7 innings. He threw 95 pitches, and 62 of them were fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Kepler. 1-1. You know, the other thing and I noticed it in spring training, I really think Kennedy has shown an excellent and improved changeup this year.
It's a good pitch for him.
In there, low strike called. Kepler didn't like it. Win a lot of games keeping it right there.
Use that defense.
Kepler still a young hitter looking for consistency, known to be rather streaky, and he takes upstairs. He busted on the scene last year, hit 8 home runs in July, and then started August hot. On August 1st, hit 3 home runs in 1 game against Cleveland, and then went quiet for about 4 or 5 weeks. Fouled off. Kennedy shipped twice and then just barely misses with the off speed away. Got away from him, and he suffers his first walk of the game. That's the first base runner for the Twins. Fans get more bang for your buck this season at the K. Every Friday night home game, May through August, will include Buck Night and summer fireworks. You heard us, all the hot dogs and peanuts you want with Buck Night, presented by Price Chopper, and finish strong with summer fireworks presented by Popsicle and Price Chopper. 2 ballpark favorites, 1 epic Friday night. Get your tickets at Royals.com. Visit an area Price Chopper location or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Here's the dangerous Miguel Sano. He has 6 hits in his last 8 at bats. They tried him out in right field last year because they had Trevor Plouffe at third, and Plouffe was allowed to move to the Oakland Athletics, and they moved Sano back to his more familiar third base position. Salvi just barely getting back as Kepler.
Looked like first base umpire Manny Gonzalez was setting to ring him up, call him out. Looked like he was ready to go.
Twins not much of a running team. They've stolen 9 bases this year. That is 10th most in the American League.
And Kepler, he just stole 6 last year. He hadn't stolen a base yet this year. And you know, you're not going to ask him to run when you're out there on the bases with Sano hitting. You're not going to take a chance of getting thrown out when this guy can, hit a homer.
Kennedy has induced 3 double plays this year. In there, 2-2.
That's where you want to keep it. Perfect location. Good job, right? Stay right there.
Would you come back with that same pitch?
Yep. Stay right there.
Maybe get ground ball double play.
That's what he hopes.
Ooh, that's a good eye.
Almost a similar pitch.
I think Dave wanted it.
Sure he did.
Kennedy with tremendous confidence in his fastball.
And the hitters know it. They see the same numbers we do.
183 batting average against that fastball this year. But opponents batting just .071 against his changeup. In the air, deep to right, Bonifacio back, and that ball is gone. That is one strong young man.
Yep, and that's sometimes which will happen if you continue to stay fastball, fastball, fastball. Eventually, you're going to leave one out. Hitter's going to look for it and catch it. Sano, like I said earlier, in his first at bat, he's got power to go opposite field here. Now, the difference between that one and the other 2 before that, it was elevated. It was on a tee. It's right down the middle. Last year, Ian Kennedy gave up 33 home runs. 26 of those home runs were in the first 19 games, and then he settled down. In the last 14 games, he only gave up 7. He found out that if he stays above the belt with that little rising four-seamer, that he can get guys to miss. And then all the other pitch was down right around the knees. But if he missed anywhere in the thigh area like he did just there, they'll get you.
Merrifield takes care of Mauer for the second out. We've seen power early in this ball game. Salvador Perez with a 2-run home run in the second. And then Miguel Sano with a 2-run home run in the fourth to make it 3-2. The difference in the game right now was Eric Hosmer's clutch 2-out base hit that scored Merrifield that last inning. Grossman takes strike 1. Lined out to second base his first time up. These Twins had a dreadful season last year. 59 wins, 103 losses. And that was after a season where they won 83. And I think there was so much promise in last year. And then they got up to that terrible 0-9 start and never recovered.
Right. And that's how a slow start like that can really dampen your season.
44 win percentage. There's that changeup with that late fade. Grossman doesn't bite. He gets him to chase the breaking ball, strikes him out, ball in the dirt. Salvi throws down to first, but Miguel Sano goes deep. When we come back, Gordon, Escobar, and Brandon Moss. Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Panera Bread. Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. We love Rusty Kuntz. Who doesn't? I mean, he's just the greatest. Great outfield coach, great first base coach, and great ambassador to the game. There is a nice pick by Joe Mauer on a smash by Gordon. One out. And then he had the opportunity to meet Morgan Fairchild before the game.
Pretty neat.
Kyle Gibson to Alcides Escobar. Popped up to center field first time up. Takes ball one. Last year, Kyle Gibson was more off to the side, and he had a 5.07 ERA. And their pitching coach, Neil Allen, changed his arm angle. He's more on top now. And he had a marvelous spring training. It just has not carried over yet. On the ground, Sano. 1-2 out. The Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City are offering a unique way for fans across the Midwest to enjoy a game at Kauffman Stadium. It's the Raised Royal Fan Express. Fans in designated markets will have the opportunity to win a trip to the K. Next stop is Tulsa on May 6th. Go to Royals.com/FanExpress for more information, and you're usually there to greet them.
Hey, look at that happy family right
Wow.
there. I like it. Sporty hat that young man has on.
Getting ready to go golfing.
I like it.
Here's Brandon Moss. Strike one. Brandon Moss was talking the other day, Hud, about the try too hards. He said, you know, any athlete, regardless of how long you've been along, you look up at the scoreboard and you see a 1 after your name, hitting 135 or 145. And he said, you want to get it over 200 as quickly as possible. And he said, you've got to stay in the right now, in the present. Pops up here, and Gibson has his best inning since the first. Now for tonight's sprint trivia question, name the 5 active managers to have played for the Milwaukee Brewers. I believe 2 are in the stadium tonight.
Well, sure. Molly right there and Ned, the 2 skippers. That's pretty easy there. We got 3 more, Fizz.
Could another one also be in this state?
You mean Mike Matheny? Hey, might be a good guess.
What about the guy who manages the Milwaukee Brewers right now?
Craig Counsell? That's a trick question, Fizz. Way to pick that out.
Jason Castro is the batter. So we didn't even give the fans time to think about it.
Well,
but there's one more. Do you know it?
I have a good guess.
All right.
That's all I can do is guess.
Change up low. Didn't go. Ian knows this is a patient ball club, even though they're young. They started this game leading the major leagues in walks with 95, and a walk led to a home run by Sano. Castro, good swing there.
You know, I believe that the last and final answer is one of my former managers.
Really?
Yep. I believe Terry Francona played for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, that would mean you got all 5 if that is the case.
Well, we don't know yet. We'll have to see what the answers are.
And that is off the plate ball for a leadoff walk to Jason Castro. Well, we do know that Terry did manage the greatest basketball player of all time in Michael Jordan on that AA Birmingham team.
That's right.
And he has some funny stories about how competitive Michael Jordan is. They played pickup basketball against each other. They played tennis against each other. He's got some funny stories. Well, here's Polanco, grounded out to first, his first time up.
So when Francona then became manager for the first time in his career for the Philadelphia Phillies, and I believe it was '97, I was on the team, and when we got to Chicago, guess who was in the clubhouse there at Wrigley Field? Michael Jordan, hanging out.
Foul back. So Kennedy has the advantage at 0-2. Polanco doesn't strike out that much. He struck out just 8 times this year. He's also walked 8 times. Twins have lost 7 of their last 10, but they came from Arlington, where they took 2 of 3 from the Rangers. On his hands and popped up. Shallow left. Escobar, 1 out. So I guess we're going to answer a trivia question right here, right now.
The first 2 guesses were no-brainers. Yeah.
Francona was the man.
There you go.
Paul Molitor and Robin Yount, dynamic duo. And Molly was an interesting player because he was so gifted when he was young, but had so many injuries, Hud, his first 10 professional years. And then his second 10 in the major leagues, he was the healthiest he'd ever been.
I didn't realize him and his partner Robin Yount would be Hall of Famers, but when I was a young major league player and I came running on the field, and Molly was in Milwaukee when I was with the Yankees, and he's running off the field, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey Rex," and he knew my first name, and I'll never forget that. I was like, wow, I'm in the big leagues with a guy like Paul Molitor, and he knew my name. I mean, you know, it's fun to get there when you're a young player.
Well, in Minnesota, why did he approach you at the batting cage and say, "Excuse me, sir, do you have a badge to be here?"
Yeah, that's right.
Eddie Rosario, the batter, flied out to right field first time up. Fouled off. Another good changeup. In there. Beautiful pitch by Kennedy, and he has now struck out 5 Twins tonight.
Yep, there's the bender. Beauty. Rosario, you got to go. Beauty right there below the knees.
Buxton out on a fine pick by Eric Hosmer's first time up. It was Escobar going in the hole, and Esky knew he had to get rid of it quickly through a short hop, and Hosmer, who is the best defensive first baseman in the American League, was able to dig it out just before Buxton's foot touched down. Seems like the pressure of hitting third has been released when they moved him to the 9 spot, and he now has reached base in 10 of his last 19 plate appearances.
Yeah, you know, you definitely feel it when you're up there in that prominent part of the order. Make you a little nervous sometimes. And then you press a little. And you're thinking you're supposed to hit for power when you're in one of them spots 3 and 4. So it kind of takes you out of your game. Young players have to find their identity of what kind of hitter am I going to be in the majors. and then you got to stick with it. So it's a tough time to find out who you are. Sometimes it takes guys longer than others. That's why in the older days you had to spend 3, 4, 5 years in the minors, so you could find out who you were and you learn how to play the game. And when you got up here, they didn't have to teach you. But nowadays it's different. Money's changed it. They're paying these guys so much money young. They get them up here and they develop them up here. So that's the difference in days gone by and the modern game today.
In there, 3-2. I'll always remember a conversation I heard, and I think it was day one of spring training several years ago, when Mike Moustakas was a young player, and George Brett walked up to him and put out his hand, and they knew each other, and Moose was kind of taken back, and he goes, "Who are you, sir?" And he goes, Mike Moustakas. And he goes, "Then be Mike Moustakas. Don't try and be anybody else." Right. Look at that. Pitching by Ian Kennedy. 2 strikeouts in the inning, now 6 for the ball game. The Royals take a 3-2 lead. You go be Rex Hutler, would you?
All right then, Buxton, you got to go.
Join us at our annual school day at the K, presented by Price Chopper and hosted by the Fox 4 weather team. Students and teachers alike will have a blast learning about Kansas City weather while catching the Royals in action on the field. This year's event will begin prior to the game next Thursday, with the presentation starting at 10 in the morning. Then get to your seats and enjoy the game as the Royals take on the White Sox at 1:15. Go to Royals.com/school day to learn more. One thing we know, we will see one of the finest newscasters in the country. John Holt will be here as well, and hopefully John will drop by our booth and say hello.
Fantastic, Fizz. You know, we just saw the Chicago had a version of that, and it's nowhere even close to how good ours is here. We get on-field demonstrations to the kids, and all they had was a video board, and they just showed it on the video.
No, they're right down here in front of the dugouts, and Fox 4 weather team teaching the kids about weather and how photosynthesis works.
Yep. Tornadoes, all those fun things. It's a great time. We pull up, there's 45, 50 buses out there.
Breaking ball that misses outside. The count goes 3-1. Bonifacio last time up hit the ball right on the screws, but right at Rosario, the left fielder. So 0 for 1 is Jorge, despite lining out.
He's looking for a sinker that's up around the belt. Didn't happen. Take your base.
Leadoff walk to Bonifacio. Gibson has now walked 3. double play helped him out in the third, and then Hosmer came through with a clutch 2-out RBI single, and that right now is the difference in the game. He scored Merrifield, who's up now. Whit's hit the ball sharply twice. Hit the ball 103 miles an hour and grounded out to Maurer in the first. And then with the count 1-2, he stayed with the pitch and lined it sharply to left field, and later would come around to score.
Yeah, Woodley has a good command. You know, I like the fact that Ned's hitting the number 9, Bonifacio and Merrifield, because these are young players here that have a good idea what they're doing. They're not jumping, they're not nervous. You know, and you can see he thinks that Gibson thinks that Ned might put a little run and hit on or something here to try to stay out of a double play. So he's making sure that Bonifacio doesn't get too big a lead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that, because he's not a strikeout pitcher and Witt doesn't strike out that much. Would you think about putting something on?
Yeah, well, you know, with nobody out, you hate to take yourself out of a big inning if something bad happens.
So you're more likely to with one out?
Yeah, 1 out is the best time to put it on. But, you know, we'll see. Merrifield is checking out Jerschley. They give the signs. Jerschley, the third base coach, gets them from Ned Yost in the dugout. Or one of the coaches, whichever one gives them.
And Merrifield lines out to the shortstop, Jorge Polanco. So Gibson living right now, because the Royals have struck him sharply. Merrifield, Moustakas, going down the Bonifacio, Gordon, Escobar, some well-struck balls, but right at him.
Hang with him. No bad luck here. All right, let's check out Moose and our Kubota power stats. The most home runs in April's last 2 seasons. Moose is right there. Impressive. He's not done. A few more days left.
Inside, ball 1. O'Shear's the left-hander warming up for Minnesota. Gibson only made it 2 2/3 his last start.
I think Molitor's pretty happy that it's, you know, just a 1-run game. Yeah, so far.
Mike eyeballed that one well. Last year, Moose had 7 home runs in his first 20 games. And then, of course, on May 22nd, collided with Alex Gordon and gone for the year. In the air, right side, Kepler. 2 out.
He dismissed that, and that's where we are right now. This is Moose's 21st game. He's right on pace that he was last year.
CAIN looking for his first home run. His batting average has slipped to 270. Last time he was at Kauffman Stadium, he had 12 hits on that homestand, but then went quiet since, and he has just 3 hits in his last 25 times up. Up the middle, that will find center field. Bonifacio around second, will hold there.
That's how you do it. Find a hole, hit him with aim.
This is our Cricket Wireless. Something to smile about. Eric Hosmer with 2 out right after the double play. Just what the Royals needed, and bam, Rusty Kuntz's gut.
He's starting to heat up now. He's hitting .389 in his last 5 games. He's heating up. There's only one thing he's missing: a 3-run bomb.
His 1 home run came on the road in Houston. First week of the season. walk and a single tonight. He scored on Perez's home run and drove in Merrifield on a single.
The walks are good. You see a lot of pitches. He got his 7th walk. He's tied with Brandon Moss for 2nd place.
Rex Howard, the outfield arms for Minnesota.
They have good arms. Kepler's a good thrower out there. Rosario in left's good, but center field, it's hard to throw anybody out from there. But Rosario is a good arm in left field, and Kepler in right's good. Bonifacio, he's average runner. He's not below.
Shortstop Polanco's trying to keep him close and keep him from getting that good secondary lead.
Just in.
Three balls and one strike.
Hey, Gibson is living on a fine line right now. We talked about how tough it's been for him to get that final out, and he's given up a lot of numbers and runs with 2 outs. See if he can get by here. Hosby looking for something out over the plate. If it's not there, let Salvi hit with the bases loaded.
Good sinker there.
It's a perfect sinker. That's the best sinker of the night in a situation like this. 3-1 count. He can't miss up. Puts it right down there low.
You think he'll see the same pitch?
Yeah, he should probably go back to it and hope he hits the spot.
Hit sharply, knocked down by Mauer. He'll touch first base. The Royals hitting it hard, but they have just 3 runs to show for it. We'll see Dozier, Kepler, and Sano right after the break.
We go to Yankee Stadium. CC Sabathia tried to sneak a piece of cheese by Machado. 470-foot blast. Orioles up 11. Yankees 8 runs in the 8th inning. That was a bomb. 4th home run. CC says, wow, I'm giving up some homers, but not there.
470.
Yeah. Good easy swing too. Pitch right down the middle.
Top of the order for Kennedy. And Ian has only allowed 1 hit and 2 walks. But one of the walks preceded the hit, and it was a home run by Miguel Sano. Ryan Dozier takes a strike. But the Royals have already given Ian more runs than they've given him when he's been on the mound all year long. They had given him 2 runs of support all season long. Dozier to left, Gordon right there. 1 out.
Yeah, you know, he's been a hard luck pitcher for run support. Moreland and Strom.
Now Max Kepler, who has struck out and walked, for his pitch, ball 1. This Minnesota team very young, with Kepler at the age of 24, Sano 23, Polanco 23, Rosario 25, Buxton 23. But one thing they need to get is pitching. They don't have a lot of prospects in their system. You know, they've got a young man by the name of Tyler Jay. He's a left-handed pitcher.
Barrios is pretty good, a little right-hander.
Jose Barrios, and he's down in the minor leagues. They almost force-fed him to the major league level last year, and he failed miserably. Irvin Santana is their leader right now, and he's having a fantastic start, leading the American League in earned run average at 0.77, and we'll see him on Sunday. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery were interviewing Bert Blyleven in the pregame show, and Bert was just raving about the smarts of Santana, how he knows how to pitch, and not overthrowing his fastball, not overthrowing his slider, just throwing it, commanding the baseball so well. There's a base hit up the middle by Kepler, so he'll be on again in front of Sano. Out comes Ned Yost. Well, Kennedy had 100 pitches through 5 1/3 innings, and it's not like he's been wild, Hud, but a lot of foul balls struck by the Minnesota players tonight.
Happens to him when he throws all them fastballs like that up in the zone that are tailing away.
This is our Chevy call to the bullpen. They want a double play. They'll bring on number 47, Peter Moylan. Top of the 6th inning, 1 out. Ned Yost complimenting Ian Kennedy for his battle tonight. McDonald's double play. Royals have not turned one yet, but if they do, well, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. The McDouble play all season long at participating McDonald's in the greater Kansas City, St. Joseph, and Lawrence locations. Peter Moylan, whose sinker slider can induce that if he stays right there.
Yeah, and don't leave anything up, that's for sure. Just keep it down, you know, so maybe he'll hit the top half of the ball and roll it over. He's their lane ball expert.
We saw the power to the opposite field by Miguel Sano his last time up. Kennedy was pounding fastballs down, 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 and then left one up, middle away.
You have too many fastballs in a row for me, to tell you the truth. I mean, you throw, this is a big, strong guy. You throw him 3, 4 in a row, he's going to catch one of them, and you got it. That's a good break there.
Beautifully located. It's 1-2.
But Kennedy did another excellent job. Moylan, that's where he wants to stay, right there.
It looks like he wants it up and away. Outside corner, perfectly located.
Ooh, he'll take it.
What a pitch by Moylan.
That's beautiful. Last 3 strikeouts of the Twins have all been looking. Excellent job. Now he did it right there, kept it, everything out of the middle, and yeah, Kennedy says, all right, 1 more to go. Excellent job, Pete. Way to get it done.
Boy, he was throwing it exactly to the center of Salvador Perez's glove, and now Matt Strahm comes out of the bullpen. Our Chevy call to the bullpen. Strahm's job, get out the veteran Joe Mauer. Three to 2 Royals have the lead. Strahm on the hill. And fans, do you have weekend plans? We'll take the Royals games with you with Fox Sports Go. You can stream all the games this weekend live on your phone. Download the free Fox Sports Go app and stream the Royals wherever you go. Matt Strahm facing left-hander Joe Mauer. Kepler at first base, representing the tying run. Outside ball 1. And Matt, called back from the minor leagues, seems to have better command, but boy, did he have a rough time with Minnesota. First time this year, gave up 6 runs and only got 2 out.
Yeah, he's having a difficult time. His balance was off, and Dave Island showed him some video and showed him what he was doing, and he went back down to the minor leagues, gained his confidence, got his balance back, and now here he is falling behind 2-0. Salvi says, all right, let's get in there. He's got a good fastball. Mid 90s, and he's got a little slider.
Matt recorded his second straight scoreless outing on Monday since his recall on April 21st. You have to throw a strike for Joe Mauer to swing. One of the most patient hitters in the game. He had 79 walks last year.
Strom wants to get in there here. Don't walk. Don't start walking anybody. Get in there. Challenge him. There you go. Do it again.
You saw where Salvi was very aggressive, where he put the target right down the middle. He's not going for the corners right now. Salvi saying, let's go for it. Stay with the fastball. Look at that, right down the middle. And Mauer hits it to center field. CAIN is there. Strom was aggressive, made his pitch. And Ian Kennedy goes 5 1/3 innings, gives up 2. We'll see Perez, Gordon, Escobar next.
Like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Moylan summoned in from Ned's bullpen to get one of the best hitters out of the league so far. Sano, you got to go. Good pitch. Got him on the corner. Strom comes in. He fell behind the count, 3-1. He came back, got in, got the out. That's exactly what Ned wanted. So far, so good. 1-run lead. Can they hold it and add on? Gibson's still in. Bottom of the 6th inning.
Starts out Salvador Perez with a little slider in the inside corner. The 6th inning is our sonic slam inning. Our contestant is Nancy Henry from Topeka. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Nancy, you get $1,200. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Nancy will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. In the air, left field, Rosario back. He'll make the catch. 1 out.
That's 15 rows back in Minnesota. Molitor has seen enough. Gibson's got to feel pretty good about his outing here.
Well, Gibson, he went 5 1/3, much like Ian Kennedy went 5 1/3. The Royals still have the lead at 3-2. Well, we'll go to the bullpen, see what Minnesota has to offer. Shears in with the Royals leading 3-2 in the 6th. And are you looking for a Royal value? Try Family Fun Day Sundays at the Cape, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Before the game, enjoy face painters and kids activities at the Outfield Experience, plus player autographs at Signature Sundays on top of the dugout. After the game, kids 14 and under can round the bases on the field like a big leaguer in the Kansas City Zoo Fun Run. Get your tickets at royals.com/Sunday. Well, Boshears just called up today because Hector Santiago went on the bereavement list because of the passing of one of his grandparents. So Boshears, who did not pitch well in the minors, he had an ERA of 10.6.
Give him another shot. Starts him off with that big breaker.
He is back.
Big curve. Fastball, low 90s. Occasional changeups to righties.
He was optioned to AAA Rochester March 28th. The bad numbers came in spring training. Began the year with AAA Rochester. Fouled off. Three infielders on the right side, one on the left for Alex. Nice play by Joe Mauer, and he gets there ahead of Gordon.
Mauer's playing a nice first base tonight. And one of those, a lot of that's from his catching experience too. Those short hops, he gets in front of it and he smothers it just like he did with it as a catcher. Thumbs out.
Gibson watching now as Escobar comes up for the 3rd time, and Esky just 2 hits in his last 27 times up.
He's scuffing, he knows it. He's to kind of shorten up that swing, put the ball in play and lay off of the high ball. High ball's not going to get him anywhere but a long out.
Yeah, he had another long offseason because he came early to prepare for the World Baseball Classic, played for Team Venezuela, played very well, hitting .375.
We all know he's a money player. When the lights turn on the brightest, that's when he comes alive. He's having a hard time getting going this year. Stuff like that all year long so far.
Popped up, Mauer. And the Royals done in the 6th. Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. And brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Matt Strom stays in the game. He was able to get the final out. Joe Mauer in the 6th inning. Now facing Robbie Grossman, and Grossman goes after the first pitch, fouls it straight back.
Yep, Strom's like, here it is, and then he'll mix in an occasional breaking ball. It's been a big curve. It was last year. It was like a curve. Dave Island wanted it to be a little bit sharper this year, so in spring training they worked on tightening it up and making it a little bit shorter break with more depth to it instead of a big rainbow. Hitters can read those easier.
Does that mean he has 2 different speeds in his breaking ball now? More slider speed and then another one with the curve you talked about?
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with the grip and staying on top. He wants more downward movement and shorter break instead of a big looper that stays a little bit flatter and it's easier to hit. Let's see it right here. Let's see how it looks.
Ooh, fastball or changeup up. Let's go to Joel.
Well, guys, out in the Twins bullpen is Twins Hall of Famer and bullpen coach Eddie Guardado. And I found myself today talking football with Everyday Eddie, and for a good reason. When Eddie pitched for the Twins, his teammate was Pat Mahomes. And he says, I remember little Pat running around the Metrodome as a youngster all the time. Of course, the Chiefs, with their first-round draft pick yesterday, selected quarterback Pat Mahomes II. Now, fast forward to modern day for Eddie Guardado. He said that LaTroy Hawkins, another former Twin, is the godfather of Pat Mahomes II. LaTroy and Eddie are good friends. This offseason, back in California, there was Pat Mahomes II eating pizza at Eddie's house. He said that the Chiefs are getting a good quarterback, an even better kid. He thinks he's going to be great, and safe to say Eddie and maybe LaTroy Hawkins and others will be paying attention to what's going on across the street with Pat Mahomes II.
Yeah, Joel, I was listening to Andy Reid talk about Mahomes, and he's a big fan, and he really believes that he could have a great mentor in Alex Smith. Here we have a 3-2 Royal lead over the Twins. And Salvi out with the encouragement after Strom has fallen behind. strike in there. Did you see Salvi? He had his glove and he was shaking like, give me a target right here. Come on, focus on right here.
That's right. You know, this is a big part of the game here. Don't want to put anybody on. Make him earn it.
Another good target. Foul back. 3-2. Trust your stuff.
Yeah, and he's fallen behind some hitters tonight, but he's come back and got right back in there, and he's won more.
Yeah, Pedro Grifol said he really works at his craft, and he knows that part of his responsibility is massaging that young pitcher's ego to get him to be right there. And there is Pete, one of the best coaches for catchers in the game, and he and Salvi, Dave Island work together on a game plan for each team, each opponent.
Blow it by him here. That'll work.
Stayed with the fastball, Hud.
Good job. Come back and get him.
And he does as he gets Castro in the pop-up. After falling behind 3-0, Salvi came out, had the conversation, stay with the fastball, but strike, strike, strike.
Yeah, you got to stay down in that zone. He made that nice adjustment from tapping his glove early in the season, and it was throwing his timing off, and now he seems to have found himself. Dave Island wants him to take his pitching hand right out of the glove.
And Hud, when you do that, does the body drift forward before your arm gets in the right slot?
He was tapping. He was tapping the glove too long, and was throwing his lower half out a little bit ahead of his arm. So he was missing way up in the zone. He didn't realize he was doing it. That's why you have a pitching coach like Dave Island who can help you with that.
Polanco 0 for 2, grounded out, popped up. Dave's starting rotation with the lowest ERA in the game. Ooh, good strike right there.
That's right.
I was waiting for Buckner to raise his right arm because it looked good from here.
Firm, cheese at the knees.
Good job of framing by Perez.
A heck of a job by Strom coming in here and following Moylan. Moylan got the big strikeout.
Perez is kind of making it easy on the lad, just putting down that one finger.
So tough to hit.
Now he's asking for the off speed.
He's got a little bit of arms and legs for some deception. Well, changeup stayed up.
Yeah. I think Salvi's going to go back to the number 1. Hamill Hughes tomorrow night, weather permitting. Sunday Vargas, Santana. Back to the ballpark. Plenty of great seats available. Yeah, he's coming back to the number 1. And Polanco pops it up. CAIN coming on, calls off Escobar, and Matt Strom with a 1-2-3 7th inning with help from Salvador Perez.
Holy moly, Stromboli! Way to go, bud!
baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. The Pirates with an 8-run second inning tonight, and Aaron Judge, the 6'7" slugger, 2 home runs this evening against Baltimore. First Yankee 25 and under with 9 big flies in the month of April, and Zimmerman went deep twice. He has 10 on the year.
He's been hot. Zimmerman, Judge as well.
Washington with the best record in baseball at 16-6. They've got a 4-game lead on Philadelphia to start the day.
They got an offense and they got an excellent starting staff. They'll be tough. They'll pressure Cubs this year.
I wouldn't be surprised though if the Nationals try and get a closer before the year is done. And there was talk in Chicago about Dave Robertson, perhaps being moved because Chicago is rebuilding. Here is Brandon Moss. Shears, a 28-year-old left-hander out of Huntsville, Alabama. They want it up. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report on Yoenis Cespedes. He was not playing for the Mets against the Nationals. Placed on the 10-day disabled list today with a strained left hamstring, and the Mets off to a slow start, 8-13. They're already 7.5 games back of the Nationals. And there is Moss with a drive deep to right. Kepler is back, and see you later.
Yep, when he gets a hold of them, they go. Nice big home run there. They needed that. It looks like a 4-seamer he tried on the inner half, and great stroke. That's our Jeep drive of the game. Big home run right there for Moss. His 4th. Got loud.
That gives the Royals a 4-2 lead. Also brings Paul Molitor out of the dugout. He'll make a change to his relief staff and bring out of the bullpen a right-hander to face Jorge Bonifacio. We'll be right back.
Night, first of 10 homestand, 4-2. They're up. Now let's look at the pitch by pitch. Both Shears to Moss. Okay, 2 breaking balls, very nicely put. Outside, up, and that high fastball. Now watch this one away here. Oh, he tried. He wanted to slice that down the line. Don't throw that one. Oh, you can't sneak a piece of cheese by a hungry Moss. Oh man, he gave it a little splash landing out there in the fountain. Beautiful thing. They needed that extra run. Give them a 2-run lead.
Now Bonifacio, who is lined out and walked. Ryan Presley is the new pitcher, 6'3" right-hander. He's the guy with a good fastball and a hard slider. But look at the ERA. That's not like Presley. He is a guy who always keeps the ball down, but not this year. He's allowed 3 home runs in 10 appearances. And that was a breaking ball that missed way upstairs. And Rex, you go back and take a look at his career. In 173 career appearances from 13 through last year, he had allowed only 16 home runs and 3 already this year.
Well, he's missing too much in the middle of the plate. He's low to mid-90s fastball. Nice slider he has. Curveball. If you miss in the middle of the plate up here, they let you know it.
Three and 1. Bonifacio very impressive in spring training, hitting .414 with Merrifield, his Omaha teammate, on deck.
Lined out, did Bonifacio to left field first time up, and then he took a walk.
Fouled off. And the coaches love him. Even though he hit .414, 3 home runs, 6th, 7th year in professional baseball, he went down to Omaha, and they said he immediately went to work. And he hit .314, had another 3 home runs, another 3 triples, 2 doubles, drove in 12 and 13 games. And when Paulo Orlando struggled, they made the flip and brought up Bonifacio. Swung on and missed. Down he goes. Merrifield 1 for 3. That was a single and a run scored on Hosmer's 2-out hit in the 3rd. Royals got a 2-run home run from Perez in the 2nd. Hosmer single, knocked in a run in the 3rd, and a home run by Moss in this inning. Fouled off. The only run the Twins have scored was a 2-run home run by Miguel Sano off Kennedy in the 4th. Went, and he's down 0-2.
Presley working more curveballs in here. He got Bonifacio out on the curve. Now he's got Merrifield down on the count 0-2.
Yeah, I always remember that really hard slider. The major league average for slider is 85, and he throws an 88-mile-an-hour slider. Maybe that was the pitch he was getting hurt on earlier. That's it right there.
Bad spot.
Too short. 2 out. MLB.com At Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Royals baseball. Customize At Bat to stay close to the Royals with home screen icons, live scores, news, stats, video highlights, radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today to stay connected to the Royals all season long. Well, apparently they want a lefty to face Mike Moustakas, and it will be Craig Breslow when we come back. Royals lead 4-2 here in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, and the Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium. First of a 10-game homestand. And the Royals have belted 2 home runs. And now Moustakas to face Craig Breslow.
So far, so good for Breslow. He's a situational left-handed reliever. Not overpowering at all. He's going to go 88 to 91 maybe. Big breakers, big curveballs away. He'll sink his fastball, cut it. He'll drop down on the sidearm. And one of them smart guys.
Graduated Yale in 2002 with 2 degrees in biochemistry and molecular biophysics. Can you spell them?
Nope, barely even say them. but I can tell you that we do have something in common.
What is that?
He says that I'm at my best when I'm intellectually uninvolved. Okay, I'm in trouble when I think too much. So that's what we have in common. Don't think. Especially now, my brain is a lot smaller than his.
Paralysis by analysis.
Right. When you have a brain like his, though, it's got all that knowledge in there.
Dozier Bobble still has time to throw out Moose, and Breslow does his job.
Sometimes
that's biochemistry in action.
You can overthink. Come on, Jack. home run in the second inning, and that was his 6th home run. That got us going on the board. 3rd inning, Haas says, you know what? With 2 strikes and 2 outs, I can get the job done. Beautiful RBI single. Now, 4th inning, Sano. Don't you know he got popped, man. Opposite field, Kennedy tried one too many heaters to get by him. He made that score 3-2. Now 7th inning, here comes Moss. Wow, is that a bomb? This guy, man, when he gets a hold of them, they go a long way. A solo home run in the 7th. That's good for his 4th home run. And that's where we're standing right now, 8th inning, 4-2. KC Royals on top. Joakim Soria in to toe the slab to get the ball, hopefully, to Kelvin Herrera, the closer.
Joakim has been on a roll, recording his 9th straight scoreless outing Wednesday in Chicago, setting the side down in order. Look at those numbers.
Beautiful thing, just stay right there. Less is more. He's not overthrowing the ball. He's getting some good movement.
Oh.
That curve has been a beauty. He also has a little split finger that he'll roll up there. But so far so good. He's confident.
Look at this 70-mile-an-hour hook.
That'll get the hitter off balance every time.
So he's thrown him 3 different pitches. Rosario's got to be thinking, what is next? Hit sharply. Witt knocks it down and does not have a chance to get Rosario. They're giving Rosario a base hit. Good pitch though by Soria.
Yeah, and you know, when Witt got to it, just crawled up his glove. Just got up there on the heel of his glove. 10-game hitting streak now for Rosario.
Buxton showing bunt. Pulls it back in time for ball 1. That brought Moustakas down the line from 3rd and now brings Perez out just in case. Because Hosmer has to hold the runner, Rosario, at 1st. Boulevard Royals Live coming up after the ball game with Joel and Monty. Now he's swinging and it's a 1-1 count. Buxton will be tough to double with his speed. Soria likely more aggressive on this 2-1 count. And he is with the fastball.
Four-seam upstairs above the belt. Designed to raise the eye level of the hitter and swing under it, just like he did.
Salvi wanted that fastball low and away, hoping that Buxton might pull it to a fielder. Looks like they're going to try same pitch, but will they send Rosario to try and stay out of the double play?
Well, you know, it just depends. Salvi can come out of there and throw him out, strike him out, throw him out, can take him out of a big inning. Can't do it. Yeah, Buxton. Yeah, he's just swing and miss guy. And you know, if he does make contact, he'll be tough to double up with his speed anyway.
Right.
So I don't think Molitor wants to do that with nobody out here.
Buxton with 29 strikeouts like you talked about, and the power coming up. Dozier, who belted 42 home runs last year. Kepler, who had 17, and then of course Sano.
Yeah, challenge him.
Leadoff single by the number 8 batter. A walk to the number 9 batter. Now trouble in Dozier.
So they were.
Dozier 0 for 3, 2 ground outs and a line out.
Does have a home run in his career against Soria. It's 2 for 10. That'll be interesting. Now you're not going to ask Dozier to bunt because it's just, you know, he's got too much pop and he can, you know, change the game with one swing. Soria
Strike one.
Love it if he just hit a little ground ball like he did the first 2 times up tonight. He hit off of Kennedy, hit the ball right to Escobar. 6-3. In this case it goes 6-4-3.
Advantage Soria at 0-2.
Has a tumbling split finger pitch that he uses at times to get a guy to swing over the top of, but make sure it's down in the dirt almost. But he's going to stay with the fastball.
He gets the swing and the miss and strikes out Dozier. So the first big out here in the 8th inning.
Okay, now that's a beautiful. Looked like to me though it moved down like a split finger. Now there's a fastball right on the outside part of the plate. Look at that, 2 spots now. He got away with one there. That was a little bit more in the middle. And there is a splitty. That's the one he wants to finish a guy with. Sure enough, that's the culprit. Looks like a fastball to the hitter, and then at the last minute the bottom falls out. Good pitch.
Good call by you, Hud. You said he had that tumbler, but just make sure it's down. Now Kepler, strike one. Kepler has struck out, walked, and scored, and singled. When he singled, the Royals lifted Kennedy, who did a good job for 5 1/3 inning. But what a job by the bullpen. Moylan, that key strikeout of Sano, and then Strom, 4 up, 4 down. Now Soria's turn in the 8th.
Well, this is an opportunity for Ned. They have a lead to get the bullpen in order the way he wants it. Matt Strom was a huge part of this bullpen before the season even started. They fixed him in there. They wanted him to be either setup man or the 7th inning guy. And now this is what it is. Strom.
There's a line drive to right. Bonifacio bobbles the baseball. And the bases will be loaded. The Royals have not defended well in this inning.
Oh, man, he got to it. He wasn't sure at first on contact if he was going to be able to get to it. He's got good closing speed, but he just misjudged it. Couldn't keep it in his glove. Very unfortunate error right there. Started back, then came in and just hit off his thumb.
So an error charge to Bonifacio. And now the bases will be loaded for Miguel Sano.
Ooh, man. And that's it, hit off the heel of his glove, so he wasn't able to get it in his pocket.
Soria's gotten Sano twice. Strike one, and oh, CB Bucknor really took a shot. Oh man.
That buckled him.
Royals head athletic trainer Nick Kenny immediately sprinting out there. Looked like CB got it right around the collarbone.
Well, they can tell that by the way CB went down that he was buckled. I mean, he couldn't even stand up. So Philin Colbreth got the keys to the locker room and says, I'm gonna go get my gear on here. Let's let him take this one off the rest of the day.
Yeah, because that could be concussion-like symptoms, because he took it right off the mask and then it ricocheted down off of his body, and he just collapsed. Rex, you know those hockey style masks have the aluminum grill, and there's not as much give as the old time masks with the iron.
Yeah, and also I've heard that they clank around, and you know they're hollow in there, so it's a loud sound too. That caught him on the chin, got him on the chin flush, and then I hit him off his shoulder. Sano was ready for that first pitch though, and he was just underneath it.
So CB Bucknor is heading to the trainer's room with Nick Kenny, and apparently our crew chief Philin Colbreth will go inside, put on the home plate umpiring gear, and he will then call balls and strikes. Miguel Sano meantime going down into the Minnesota dugout. Soria, he has not yet started to throw again. He'll probably need a few warm-up tosses before he continues his duel with Sano. The base is loaded and only one out. This is the first of a 10-game homestand against Minnesota, the Chicago White Sox, and then the Cleveland Indians. An important homestand for Kansas City, as they're off to a 7-14 start this year, and they started the night 5 games back of Cleveland.
Their goal, peck away.
Yeah.
1 game at a time. Start getting back to 500. Just work your way back there, and then when you get to 500, just look around, see where you are.
And Phil Hughes will go tomorrow night for Minnesota. Jason Hamill will go for the Royals. And the coverage starts at 5:30 with Joel and Monty on Fox Sports Kansas City. Good crowd on hand on a cool Friday evening. And the way this game went early, the Royals took a 2-0 lead on Salvador Perez's 2-run home run in the second, and then Eric Hosmer with 2 outs knocked in Whit Merrifield. But Sano belted a 2-run home run. That's been all the Twins scoring. The Royals tacked one on Brandon Moss's solo shot in the 7th, but now the Twins have loaded the bases on an infield hit, a walk, and an error. The Royals right fielder Bonifacio. You know, the Royals had yesterday off, and Joel interviewed the guys in the clubhouse, talking with Hosmer and talking with Whit Merrifield, and they were talking about yesterday was a great day to have off. And Whit Merrifield then told Joel, this is a game where you have to turn the page, where you have to let the bad go and focus on the right now.
Yeah, there was a few people that on the off day yesterday, what a terrible road trip. And I went, what road trip? And that's the mentality a player has to have. Same thing. You know what? That's over. I mean, this is long gone. Move ahead, look forward. You don't look back. That's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, I was talking with a group of the 3-2 baseball league that plays out in Shawnee Fairgrounds, and at lunch today, and I reminded them that the team that we broadcast for in 2002, the Angels, got off to a 6-14 start, and they won the World Championship that year. And this is a group of athletes with the Royals HUD that we've seen respond from a bad July in 14, and also down 4 runs in the wild card game in the 7th inning and rallied to win. And then the next year, in the World Championship year, down 4 runs in the 8th inning to do it again. So there's no quit in the boys in blue.
No, and we've seen a lot over the last few years here for this team, man. Hot and cold, I mean, unbelievable. But you know, one thing you can't do is count them out.
Well, we can reset how this game, how this inning has gone. The 8th inning, Soria.
Couple of balls off the heels of some fielders here in this inning. One off of, it was a Buxton walk, and then here it was, a nice little line drive. And Bonifacio, he hit it into his heel, just like Merrifield's. They couldn't get it in the pocket. See if Soria can work his way out as bases loaded, and their most powerful and productive hitter is at the plate. 0-1.
And now Miguel Sano comes back, and now Field and Culbreth has the home plate umpire's equipment on, and he'll be calling the balls and strikes as Sano is down in the count 0-1 after that foul ball struck the mask of C.V. Bucknor and dropped him to his knees, and now he is out of the game, being checked on by the Royals medical staff.
You know, this is a pretty good layoff here. You know, you wonder if that's going to cause any issues with Soria, but I would bet not. 18 pitches is all he's thrown, and he's a veteran guy. Take him about 5 pitches to warm up here, and here we go. We're going to get the confrontation going.
Yeah, Joaquin has seen so much pressure. I mean, he's 3rd in club history in saves with 161 relief appearances. This is number 378 for him, so he's been in this situation before, and now he knows he must make quality pitches to get Sano out. Curveball hit high and deep. CAIN is back, and it is off the wall. In comes one. Escobar's throw to the plate, not in time, and this game is now tied at 4. Paul Molitor may want them to check the top of the wall. It looks like the umpires will do that to see if it was a grand slam home run or just the double.
Well, it was not the right pitch for Soria there. That was a hanging curve. It just hung right up. He wanted that one to be down, start out around the belt and end up on the ground. Instead, look where it starts out, about letter high, and a big guy like that, he saw it and didn't even hit it very well, but right off the top of the wall, and it stayed in the park. Boy,
that's right on the crease of that wall. Perhaps New York has some cameras we do not. Holy smokes. Doesn't get any closer than that.
Well, you know, you make a mistake like that to a big hitter, to their best power hitter, he's going to make you pay.
Dave Island, meantime, jogging out to have a visit with Soria, and it was a double, so Sano knocks in 2, locks this game up at 4. And now Mauer is the batter, and the question is, will you walk Mauer to get to Grossman?
It's certainly something you got to consider here. But obviously they're not putting him on, or because nowadays the rule is you just say four fingers, you're gone.
Yep, you're right.
So they're going to pitch to him. Even though the numbers that Mauer have off of Soria are pretty good.
Joe tonight 0 for 3, flied out twice and grounded out. Royals infield is in. That's a fair ball down the line. In comes 1, in comes 2. And Minnesota has their first lead of the game at 6-4.
It looked like it was another curveball, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to see it again. And it was a breaker, and it hung up there again. Again, you know, just not located properly. It's when it's elevated like that, hitters' eyes light up, especially with runners in scoring position. All they got to do is just put an easy swing on and put it in play. So the 2 pitches that hurt Soria were his curveball. And that's not his best pitch.
Now Grossman taking a pair of strikes down to the count 0-2. When the Royals bat the bottom of the 8th inning, it will be CAIN, Hosmer, and Perez. Hosmer has it, gets it to Soria just in time. Moving to third, Mauer. And Ned Yost wants the left-hander to face Jason Castro. Scott Alexander had been warming up in the Kansas City bullpen, and they will make the move to Alexander. We'll be right back. Job this year, not allowing a run in his first 9 games, gives up 4 Bunting gets just 1 out in the 8th inning. He did not receive good help from his defense. But he also walked a man, and now Alexander comes out of the bullpen, pitching in his 6th game this year.
Yep, sinker, slider. Alexander's got to work on Castro here. 2 outs. It's unfortunate that there was a couple balls that were dropped. I mean, Merrifield's ball was tough play. Kind of just crawled up this thing, and then Bonifacio's ball just misjudged.
Osorio was able to strike out Dozier and get Grossman on the ground out. That advanced Maurer to 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch there. That's a great sinker at 93.
No, he's firm. When he's on, he's tough to hit. And when you hit it, I've had hitters tell me that it feels like they're hitting a bowling ball or a shot put. It's so heavy. It's off the end of the bat.
Great pitch there. And Alexander comes in, does his job, but the damage has been done. As Minnesota scores 4, goes from 2 down to 2 up.
All right.
We come back, CAIN, Hosmer, Perez.
Get him going. No, and he unloaded right there on a nice big home run there. Seattle up 3-1, or actually won 3-1. Carrasco gave it up. So the American League Central standings, see right there. I mean, you know what? No one's really going to run away with this division, I see. So the Royals are still having a chance, but they're going to have to find a way to get back in that win column.
Well, they've got 3 good hitters coming up here in the 8th inning. CAIN, Hosmer, and Perez, and then Gordon, Escobar, Moss, Bonifacio. If anybody gets on, it is Matt Belisle with a 7 ERA, pitching the 8th. He delivers strike 1. Matt, a veteran, he'll turn 37 on June 6th.
He's got a hard sinking fastball, low to mid 90s, slider change.
Did a very good job with the Washington Nationals last year in 40 games. An ERA of 1.76. CAIN singled his last time. In now. CAIN again knocks it foul, staying alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I like how Lorenzo, he's just trying to put the ball, lay it out there. He's not trying to do too much. It's what you want to do. A little 2-strike hitting approach.
Infield playing him straight up, outfield shading him a bit towards right. It's 3 that he has spun off on that right side. The Minnesota bullpen has not been their strength. Starters have done a fine job, but their bullpen ERA 4.26. Belisle right at 7.
He's working him.
Oh, the ball found the glove. Matt Belisle just threw up his hand as the chopper was up the middle. It was going to be a tough play if it gets by Belisle. But watch this, just throws up his glove.
That's a nice play, man. He's able to keep his feet. If he goes down, Lorenzo might have himself another infield hit. Good try. He battled.
Now Hosmer, who's been on twice with a walk, run scored, RBI single in the 3rd. Strike 1. Did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Eric had a great at bat in inning number 2 when he was down in the count 0-2, and then fought several pitches off, got it to 3-2, then walked, and then PEREZ went deep.
They're on base runner. Let's get 1 or 2 on there and pop it out of here. Stay hot.
Pulled to the right side, but right at Dozier. 2 outs.
Just like you said, Salvi connected in that 2nd inning. That's a nice home run. Big and loud sound. His 6th and 11th, or 10th and 11th RBIs of the year. Good, short, clean. Gave the Royals the lead.
And then his last 2 times up, he had long fly balls to left, 1 in front of the warning track, 1 right at the warning track.
And just a little bit off the end of the bat.
Strike 1.
Belisle has a little bit of crossfire with his delivery. Might be a little bit hard to pick up.
Tough on right-handers.
Sinker, slider.
Salvi goes to right field, but Kepler has it go over his head. He misplayed the ball, and Salvi cruises into second base, and the Royals still alive here in the 8th.
Toughest thing to do is to read that spin on that ball. And Salvador, he got the back underside and got that backspin on it. And that ball was rising as it was going out there. And Kepler, he came in on it. That ball was hit a lot better than he thought it was, and it just went carried way over his head. Molitor, he's going to the bullpen now. He's not going to let Belials face Alex Gordon. Oh, there's a little 2-out life.
Yeah, they have one more lefty left in the bullpen. His name is Taylor Rogers, and here he comes. That means the tying run will come to the plate in Alex Gordon, and that's why Paul Molitor went to the left-hander Taylor Rogers, who has been very, very tough on lefties this year. You see the high ERA, 5.68, opponent batting average of 2.92, but left-handers only batting 143 off Rogers. What does he have?
Well, he's going to work on a little fastball, 88 to 92, not overpowering. 2 speeds to his curveball. That's what makes him so effective against lefties. One's a little tight breaking ball, and the other one's a big slow looper. If he does see a righty, he'll throw a changeup. 2 of them as well.
Ball 1. Not bad, 2 for 7.
And outfield's fairly deep, so on a routine ground ball that's into the outfield, should be able to score Salvi as deep as they're playing. They want to try to keep Gordon off a second, no doubles.
And when the game started, there was a strong breeze blowing left to right. Now the flags are pretty still. Gordon with good power, still looking for his first home run this year. Pulls it to the right side. Dozier in shallow right. Throws out Alex. The inning is over. We head to the 9th. 6-4 Minnesota. Stadium in Kansas City. This is the first of a 10-game homestand. The Royals trailing 6-4. At one time they led by 3. Scott Alexander came out of the bullpen to strike out Jason Castro. Will stay in and face the bottom of the order. Polanco, and then the guys who started the trouble for Joakim Soria in the 8th. Rosario and Buxton, who singled and walked and later would score. A 4-run 8th. Polanco 0 for 3. He's grounded out, popped up twice. Strike 1.
Scott Alexander, he's impressive. He gets the ball, gets right up there, and here it comes. It's fastball, sinker, slider. He's always wants that target down low. Ball got in.
Moose. 1 out. Now Rosario, whose infield hit stretched his hitting streak to a career high 10 games last time up. Shows bunt, pulls it back in time, ball 1. One ball, 1 strike, and after an excellent rookie season, he slipped a little bit last year, did Eddie. Hit 269 with 10 home runs, spent a little time down in the minor leagues. That will get out of play. When the Royals bat in the bottom of the 9th inning, they'll have the bottom of the order coming up in Escobar, Moss, and Bonifacio. Esky's job just get on and let Moss and Bonifacio get you around. There's a shot up the middle by Rosario and a base hit. Tomorrow night, weather permitting, at 6 o'clock, it will be Hamill against Hughes. 5:30, of course, with the pregame show with Joel and Monty. Buxton 0 for 2 with that walk. Good pitch there, a good sinker at 92 miles an hour. 0-1.
Yeah, excellent spot.
He's got a lot of movement. That's why you were talking about a heavy sinker versus just a Gibson sinker. Well, it could be 2. It's going to be tough. Buxton speed. Nope, not a chance.
Yep, just had too much air under those hops. That's what he wanted, though. Ground ball.
Now you wonder if they'll send Byron leading by 2 with 2 out in the 9th, and the top of the order up in Brian Dozier.
Why not? He's got a couple of steals already.
Scott goes to first base again, driving Buxton back. Ground ball short. Escobar gets it to Whit Merrifield, and that will do it. It's time for the Royals. Offense to emerge. Brandon Moss will be coming up second. In the 7th inning, he blasted this big home run. Escobar, Moss, Bonifacio. Nothing lead on Perez's home run and Hosmer's single, but Minnesota with 2, and then the Royals Moss home run in the 7th, but Twins with a 4-run 8th inning. Boulevard Royals Live will be after the ball game with Joel and Monty hitting home runs at home. The Royals went deep twice with Perez and Moss. And will we be talking about a Friday night comeback? Bottom of the order coming up. And Kinsler is the pitcher for Minnesota. He is their closer. No one has scored on him this year. 0.00 ERA, but similar numbers for Joaquin Soria when Minnesota jumped on the Royals right-hander in the 8th.
Well, nobody goes unscathed in this business up here, that's for sure. It's just a matter of time. And Brandon Kinsler, he's got a sinking fastball. He likes to sink it, low to mid-90s slider change. Just drive down, stay on top. A little bit of deception in his delivery. But first things first, base runners.
Ball 1. Since the start of 2016, Brandon Kinsler is 22 for 25 in save opportunities. Last year he led the Twins with 17. And Escobar went after a high fastball, not a strike, popped up to left field, and 1 out.
Not the pitch he's looking for there. Need base runners.
Go ahead and take the walk.
Yep.
Well, here is Moss, who homered his last time up after a really good at bat, fought off several tough pitches, and then got one to his liking and hammered it deep into the right center field fountain area.
It was a no-doubter. Buddy Boucher's. He tried to get a little fastball inside on him, and you couldn't do it. Moss got him. 4th homer on the year.
They say he went. Oh, man. Tough call on Moss. Now they'll swing Sano over to the right side of the infield. Twins with 3 infielders right. Lone man on the left is Polanco. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Brandon cracks one to center field. And Buxton is there to run it down. Wow, that is great speed.
And it looked like he outran that line drive. Good swing by Moss again. Hit that right on the screws. That's a good stroke, man. That's a long ways away. He took a pretty good angle. Catch that.
Now Bonifacio. He walked in the 5th, and the Royals would take that right here. Tailing fastball that came over the heart of the plate. Strike 1. Tries to dump one to right. That will drop, and the Royals still with life.
There you go. That's how you do it. Lift that sinker out there. That looks like it was a slider. A little slider, just kind of spun there. Didn't do a whole lot. Good approach. See, just barely toe taps, barely picks up his foot. Under control with the body. Way to lay it out there.
Now Merrifield will try and keep that line moving.
But he has been all over the ball. No luck for Merrifield. He should be hitting over 300 with the long way he's hit it.
Bonifacio will take second base. No steal. Indifference. You're right, Hud. The first time up, he smoked the ball 103 miles an hour that Maurer was able to make the play on, then singled sharply to left field, lined out to short in the 5th, and hit it sharply to the shortstop and was thrown out in the 7th. Drops a strike in there, 1-1. Raleigh caps on, Raleigh gloves on. Chopper up the middle. Dozier throws him out, and the Royals' losing streak has reached 8 games.
Joe Maurer, he stepped up, came in there. Runners on second and third. First base was open. The Royals elected to pitch to him. He's hit over 500 off Soria, and he got him a hanging breaking ball. Infield in, hugged the line. Right on it. Knocked in the 2, and that was our Honda play of the game.
The Royals fall to 7-15. Minnesota has now won all 4 games against Kansas City this year.